Choosing the right character to main is vital to your fighting game success. Without prior character knowledge, it can be overwhelming and difficult to know which one is right for you. Don't worry dogs, I'll give you tips and tricks and overall things to consider when picking a main character. Welcome to my video on how to pick a main character in Mortal Kombat 11. What is going on guys, my name is Mad Dog Games and welcome to another episode of my beginner tip series, where I will help you figure out how to get started and overcome the common problems new players face. But I also have other playlists on the channel if you're interested, all found in the description down below. And be sure to stick around because at the end of the video I will be announcing the next video for this series. Let me know who you guys decided who to main and why. Is it because of their looks, their playstyle, or because they're easy to use? I main Johnny Cage because I love his Rushdown playstyle and his personality. Sindel? Well, because, because of a couple reasons. Nah, she's actually very fun to use as well, but anyways, let's go ahead and start with the video. So the first thing you should ask yourself when deciding on a character is the reasons why you wanted to pick that character. So the first tip is to state your reasons. And the way I look at this is number 1, whether that is picking an easy character, 2, playing your favorite hero, 3, choosing character based on their playstyle, 4, choosing character based on a tier list. Being able to answer this will help guide you in the right direction for picking a main, and it's important that you know that a character that you pick will change your learning curve. For example, let us say you pick a character that is easy to pick up. Most of the time, choosing a character that is easy to play are those people that are wanting to jump in and play right away, which then means you'll be learning a character in a short period of time compared to anyone else. Which is not a bad thing. Your main will be someone that is straightforward, easy to understand, and offers simple combos. Or let's say you pick a character because it's your favorite hero. This means you have an idea on who to pick, but just be aware that your learning curve will be different. You will have to accept and adjust to that character mechanics, tools, and attacks, which means you have to put more time into learning that character and mastering their gameplay. Or now let's say you pick someone based on their playstyle. You don't really care about the character's looks and are more interested in their mechanics and gameplay. This means your learning curve will be medium or average time in learning a character since you know your strengths and what you're comfortable with. The final possible reason would be picking a main based on a tier list. This means you're the type of person who likes to get carried by specific characters that are often OP at the time or broken. But in all seriousness, you like characters that offer plenty of tools to help you succeed at a competitive level. But just be aware, tier list often changes over time with balance changes and patches, so you'll be often learning new characters within each updates or so. And that is pretty much the potential reason why you might be picking that character. Heck, it could be a combination of all these things. I'm just giving you guys the general idea. But now that we got the first step done, the next step is to actually consider the character playstyle. So the second most important thing that you must ask yourself now is this playstyle right for me? If you commit to a character based on their looks or anything else, you can skip this step. But for the rest of you, in a game where mechanics is important, playstyle is the biggest factor when deciding on a main. So decide what playstyle right for you and choose a character that fits that role. With such a large roster to choose from, there will be a playstyle that you might like. I do want to mention, compared to Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 11 has minimized the playstyle significantly. For example, there are less grapplers, trappers, and gimmicky tools that makes a character unique. Everything is more grounded here. But playstyles that you will come across in these games are balance, rushdown, zoners, neutral/spacing, mix-ups, grapplers, and trappers. Now, if you're brand new to fighting games, I definitely understand you won't be able to find your playstyle right away. I'll be listing characters based on their core gameplay, not specific variations. I'll note somewhere on the screen of other associated playstyles, but there are 102 tournament variations. It'll take forever to break down all of them. But anyways, now let's go over each character archetype one by one. Balance, also known as all around. Balanced characters have attributes that give you the ability to handle any given situation. They can fight off offensive characters, defensive characters, and everything in between. However, they're pretty much average when it comes to close combat and distance combat. This playstyle means you can go against any other characters and never feel like you have the biggest disadvantage. So the question now is, who are the good example of balanced characters? Just know some variations can completely change their playstyles, but at the core are Scorpion, Liu Kang, Cassie Cage, Nightwolf, Joker, and Cabal. Rushdown. Rushdown characters have attributes that give you the ability to overwhelm the opponent at close range, either by using a lot of pressure tools, using fast confusing setups, or taking advantage of an impatient opponent. However, they're not usually the best at long range combat. Good example of Rushdown characters are Johnny Cage, Jax, Baraka, Jackie, Kung Lao, Aaron Black, Highborn Katana, Jaded Jade, and Frost, Arctic Anarchy. Zoners. Zoning characters have attributes that give you the ability to keep your opponent out by using medium to long range attacks. In other words, they heavily control the space between you and themselves, often because they're not the best when it comes to close range combat. Good example of zoning characters are Shang Tsung, Noob Saibot, Scarlet, Robocop, Jade, and Cetrion. Neutral and spacing, also known as footsies. Footsie characters have attributes that give you the ability to whiff punish opponents effectively once they make a mistake. They work best in neutral and use spacing to their advantage, often using medium to long range attacks to get in. Good example of neutral and spacing characters are Shao Kahn, Frost, Spawn, Raiden, Katana, Devora, Kodokan, and Fujin. Mix-ups. Mix-ups characters have attributes that give you the ability to force your opponent to guess between two or more of your options, often using overhead and low attacks, always constantly putting them in a difficult situation. Although the most effective playstyle, it's a high-risk, high-reward playstyle. Good example of mix-up characters are Sonya, Sub-Zero, Terminator, and Sindel. Grapplers. Grappler characters have attributes that give you the ability to punish your opponent for blocking, often using command grabs and throws with their pressure. Similar to Rushdown, they have plenty of tools at close range. Good example of grappler characters are Kano, Garrus, Collector, Shiva, and Jack's Hunker Down variation. Trappers. Trap characters have attributes that give you the ability to trap your opponent using special tools, either by controlling an area or forcing them to stop moving. In other words, baiting. Good example of trap characters are Joker's Ace of Knave variation, Sub-Zero Avalanche variation, Aaron Black Lock and Loaded variations, and any other variations with tools like these. Now that I gave you all the information on the characters and things to consider, now it's time to start picking them. If you wanted to find out which playstyle suits you, go ahead and test out the character in training mode. It'll definitely help you out in deciding which character to play. Think of this like testing out a brand new shoe. You put it on and walk a few steps to see how it feels. The same has to be applied here. I want you to go to training mode and take a look at their attacks and special move. If you like their attacks and special move, test it out with an AI and see how it feels during combat. That is the only way to find out the character for you. The more you like about them, the happier you'll be in learning them. The third thing you should ask yourself when picking a character is what other characters can I use to counter specific characters or playstyle. Counter picking is an essential and important strategy in any fighting game, and that is mostly due to the fact that one character can be strong and weak against certain matchups. You want to avoid bad character matchups, because in some cases, if you don't, then you'll have to try twice as hard to win even if you guys are equally skilled. Sometimes it's about having the right tools for that situation. For example, if you play a close range fighter like Jackie or Johnny Cage, there will be some cases where the opponent is just overwhelming you at far range. No matter what you do, they exploit your weakness. Characters like these tend not to do very well against far range characters. The best strategy if you're not able to adapt is to switch a character that can fight them. But here's a warning, just because you counterpick does not guarantee you a win. A successful counterpick will simply give you an edge on your opponent. It is up to you to be ready and take advantage with the tools your character offers. Maining more than one hero is definitely okay, and better yet, I definitely recommend maining 3 or more so in the long run, so that you are prepared for what is thrown at you. In a month from now, after trying and learning multiple characters and still asking yourself, well, I can play just about anyone, I still can't find a main character. Well, let me tell you this, your main is someone that you'll still keep on learning, keep on training, and keep on relying on them and falling back on when you face tough matchups. In fighting games, the learning never stops, and whoever you decide to bring that character to that journey, that is your main. For me, Johnny Cage has been my main since Mortal Kombat 9, and no matter what matchups, my win percentage is higher with him. And there you go, if you still haven't decided on a character, hopefully this video will help you in the right direction. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what character you choose. If it makes you happy, then that's great. But if you're looking to play fighting games seriously, these are just some tips that could help you start out. For more beginner tip videos, subscribe to my channel for more content. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is MadDogGames, and I'll see you guys next time.